And we are live on a Wednesday, 6:39 p.m. A little late as always, but at least we have a reputation for that. Welcome to the Russo and Goodwin LSU Football Show. I am your co-host, Russo, and as always, with the coach. How are we doing today, man?
Good, dude. We had a successful stream last night. For those of you that tuned in to the Catching Up with Coach show, that was a really good one. No better way to start it than with a muted mic for the first 2 seconds.
I did laugh
um,
at that. I had
but
my text just ready to go.
and then I figured it out. But I mean, again, dude, we're here. I feel like I kind of said it yesterday in the show, dude. Like it's that point in the season where like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, it felt like you were just waiting for something and just anything, and they like them reporting to camp like was your something. And now that they're, I guess almost 2 weeks into camp now, and now it's like, all right, I'm tired. Let's play. Like, I'm tired. So it's kind of that part. And obviously with any I guess with any like preseason, with any, super, I guess, like antiquated fan base, this is kind of like your moment to really be like, oh God, it's finally here. But it's not here yet. We still have week 0. Bo with the shout out. Episode 2, here we go. Hopefully he is rough and rowdy and ready to lock in. But it's anyway, we're here. We always talked about it, off camera too. But man, I'm very, 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 very already over. I can't talk. Like, I'm ready to see games, dude. I just want to see games, even if it's the week 0 ones that suck.
Yeah, I'm very late on posting this to Snapchat, so be my guest as I get this going. The show was great last night. You even have your own damn theme song, so like, I
You
mean,
like that?
jeez, I mean, it's lit.
You like that?
I'm gonna need you
The
to get on that for this show, man. Just get us one up and going.
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this too, bro. The amount of people that have like made comments about when they're watching the show or anything. Like, if you've got, like, first of all, you got like a radio show, if you do podcast, or if you do like the Joe Rogan, whatever, like if you do, I don't know, there's always something catchy that you kind of look forward to that you just love. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Grand
And
Granddad said to brush your hair. Listen, I just got out of the shower. Okay. Let me put a finger brush to it.
and look, we support it, man.
And I get a haircut Friday. So get
I
ready,
just
Granddad.
I got
The day's
mine.
coming.
I got mine 10 a.m. with my nephew, so we were ready to go. Have our big fantasy football draft this weekend at Fred's on the River, so that will be an interesting experience. So if anyone's in the area and wants to stop by, that would be, you know,
Pay for our drinks.
yeah, pay for a drink, whatever, give some draft input. Uh, as you see at the bottom of the screen, got a little new subscriber bar. We're really trying to get to 100. We've got 88 right now, so
Climbing.
climbing. So like and subscribe if you're not a subscriber. If you are, we always appreciate you. Uh, you know, being a part of the show. So we're not going to waste any more time. Let's get into it. We're officially done with kind of like fall camp week 1. So like we wanted to really give you a rundown of, you know, what happened, anything notable, anything noteworthy as far as who came out. You know, as far as gold jerseys, who are not participating in practice, injuries, stuff like that. We'll go over
Right.
that. We went over the offense last week, so we have a defense depth chart to go over, and then we'll take a little glance at the schedule. There are some lines out for Vegas that for the LSU games this year, so we'll just quickly glance over that. We're gonna probably go over the schedule once a video until we get our final disposition as far as the schedule is concerned in our record. So we're
Mhm.
gonna take a look at what Vegas thinks in certain individual games, and we'll go from there. So um, we'll start with a fall camp week one recap. I found it interesting. Uh, One of the most notable people that was in a non-contact jersey was Trey's Green, and the first thing you would think is, "Oh man, what happened? Is he hurt?" And from the reports, it sounds like it's just a precautionary thing. So, what are your thoughts on that? Do you have any, intel on that as well? Is it basically what it seems as just precaution?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, if and to be honest with you, like, what I think is actually going to be pretty interesting for a lot of people, and this is like related but not related. So, like, just let me for a second here. Kiffin's going to do this thing that a lot of people have noticed. BK was really really forward, like so forward that like you almost didn't know. Like, are you supposed to say that? Like, so Kiffin's not that way. He is like, and we'll get to this one probably a little bit later, maybe like in a month or so, maybe a month or two. On like, wait, I thought you said back in August that, and then you're gonna go. Kiffin doesn't always mean what he says, but the exception is if somebody's hurt, you're gonna know all over his face. It's gonna be a 7 or 8 word answer. If something was wrong with Trey's Green, we would know. They are protecting their assets. They are protecting their biggest. I won't say their biggest investment. I think that's your left tackle. Um, they don't want him getting hit, and why would you? I mean, he is, for all intents and purposes. We all saw what happened last year when you put him on the end line of scrimmage. Or was that 2 years ago? Or was that last year where you put him on the end line of scrimmage? He was on that right side. You motion him over to the other side, takes a toss out wide, gets his knee buried. They're not doing any of that crazy foolishness
No,
with
yeah,
him. So Kiffin is going to take all that, and he's going to have the same thing with Levitt. Granted, you are getting a couple of whispers about, where's this person at? And again, I said it yesterday. The media is only they only got access to like 10 or 15 minutes, man. So if somebody's got a gold non-contact jersey, if they were present for a certain part of practice, but sit out the part of the media, like, for all we know, dude, for all we know, Kiffin could sit the whole first team offensive starting line and only let you watch the second team practice while the first team is on a different field inside practicing. And then all of a sudden, Auburn thinks that the whole offensive line has the flu, when in reality, like, that's not even the case. You know what
no,
I'm saying? Like, you never know with this.
100%,
This
and
dude's
that
crazy.
and that's why when we go over the depth chart, this is kind of just what he sent out from what the media saw.
Yeah.
Obviously it's
Yeah.
not the set in
Yeah.
stone first 11, second 11. It's just interesting. It's something at least we can go off of. And you kind of alluded to it earlier. Another person that kind of no showed when the media was there, but then eventually ended up showing up with a gold, a gold jersey himself uh, was Winnie Watkins. So any update there as well?
Kind of seems like he's probably just got the camp beat up, the camp injury kind of thing, maybe a little bit beaten up. There's no word, there's no official, hey, I know something kind of thing. It just seems like camp nicks and bruises. And to be honest, I said this last night too, and I think you and I have kind of talked about this off camera. When you know the offense you're going to be leaned on, Kiffin is clearly and obviously with a new practice schedule going to be one of those coaches that takes precautionary measures very seriously. And so I believe if someone's banged up, if somebody's got some nicks and bruises, cuts, hey coach, like, I'm not feeling my best. If the catapult results from that little computer, the little looks like the little sports bra that they wear, like if there's any of that like information that comes back that says, so and so player's not, on all cylinders, there's zero hesitation from Lane Kiffin to go, yeah, all right, go sit down, go to your dorm, or go get on the bike, go inside, get yourself some acupuncture, go get your muscles rolled, whatever. He is the type that'll say you need to take a break, and kind of seems like that's the case with him.
No, and that's fair. Obviously, it's you always have to wonder when you see someone in non-contact, and it could be as simple as someone like Trades who's just you know taking it easy, or is it an injury, and hopefully like you said, Lane Kiffin's not gonna really give you a lot to go on. So um I think the only other person in the gold jersey that was of note was freshman receiver Jabari Mack. Um, Nothing to report there. We'll definitely keep you posted once we get some more on him, Watkins, and if anything changes with any other player.
Dude, he looks good though.
I would say the receiver room, it's live. I mean, it's live
Oh
for
God,
there was going to be some play uh in those in that wide receiver 3 role, especially um especially in those games where you hopefully have time to put some players in, like
dude.
a la LA Tech. Over the last couple of years, we haven't really had much of a any kind of non-conference game we played. It was kind of a scare at some points, or it was just a slow burn. And you never got to really rest the starters, right away. And I'm hoping that changes this year. And we get to see some of those receivers because there's no red shirt anymore, right? I mean, you're gonna start seeing people play because you don't
Dude,
have to.
dude.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm hoping we see a little bit of everything in some of those non-conference games, as far as
Just
quarterback, receiver, and everything.
just because you brought that up, I have a friend of mine. Shout out to my boy Dylan, huge fan of the show. He texted me, and I don't know if I brought him up last night. I think I might have been talking about Mothershed, or maybe I brought up Malik. I can't remember. But he was watching some of the practice film, and he goes, "Who?" And I don't want to say it right now. He's like, "Who the hell is 88?" And in the like, and it happened to me, and we cover the damn team where I literally heard, I went 88. Wait, hold on. And like there was like the hesitation where I didn't know who it was, and it's Malik Elzy,
Yeah.
bro. 6'2", 215 from Illinois. He doesn't okay. When you say a big body, he's a big body. Trades is a freak. Like 6'7", 235 doesn't look the same as 6'2", 215, but he's bigger. 215 and 190 look very different. So like when you had at LSU, when you had Jamar and you had Justin, and that was like 190, 195 versus like 205, 210, they looked like different receivers. It's going to look very different for a Malik Elzy in 88 and Philly Wright in 15. That's not going to look like the same. Like they're not going to have the same kind of skill set. So when you have somebody who is literally a layman watcher, a sports fanatic, a fan, and he just scrolls through Facebook and Twitter and sees that guy looks good, and you haven't heard him be talked about but a few times, like he's a good player and they got him for a reason, but yet you and I aren't like, oh dude, y'all are just gonna love, and I'm not saying we aren't, and he's not gonna play and he's not gonna be awesome, but like bodies like that are just in your 2 and 3 and 4 deep.
No.
That's wild to
No.
me.
I
To me.
I we might have watched the same tape, but I think it was day one of camp, and I had to do a double check and see who's
Yeah.
wearing 88.
You're
I
like,
did. I for
this is gonna
sure
be me.
did.
I'm telling you, this is gonna be me in the stands because I'm gonna
Yeah.
get one of the little books they hand out. I'm gonna be just like,
Dude, that's what I was dude, when I tell you, like, this is the first year I've watched
yeah,
tape of fall camp, like,
yeah,
this is it, and you're like, you nailed it. That was the same reaction I had. I had to do a double take. I looked, I'm like, "Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah,
Okay
yeah,
now." Like,
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
knew,
yeah.
like, a lot of our receivers are single digit guys, so I was like, I had a feeling I knew
Mm-hmm.
who, where Jace, Eugene, and dude from Hawaii, Jackson Harris were, but
Yeah,
I anything after that, I was like, okay, I need to get myself familiar with these guys. So I definitely saw 88 day one. Definitely looked good. Don't get me wrong. I'm hoping we see some of that this year. So that's all I'm
just
saying
wait,
about that. So
just wait.
um last thing before we move on to the defensive depth chart, Gabe Relaford obviously was kind of, he dressed for yesterday's practice at fall camp. and Lane Kiffin like just gave a one word like he's out for the season.
Yeah.
So like everyone was like, okay, this is like maybe he's just out there for moral support,
Yeah.
or that's the case. But then you saw some videos posted today that
He posted it and then took it down.
so it's like I don't know if I don't know what's happening
I
with
don't know.
that.
Him and okay, ACLs aren't the same, and I'm not. And I could get a one of my cousins on here who's uh, a physical therapist. She'd be able to tell you ACL injuries aren't the same as they used to be. They're very much more, a little bit easier to come back from 30, 40, even 50% faster. But he was also right next to Aiden Anding, who ruptured his Achilles tendon, and they were both on the bike. So it's like, okay, like one of you has a probably a year or so injury, one of you has
Yeah.
like a 6 or 7 month injury. But the reality is, again, we hear you, coach, but he's posting a video on Twitter of him firing off the ball and running a sprint, and then just gets to. So I don't know. And again, if you remember last year when Braylon Moore got hurt, and then it was like, oh God. Like we talked about what would
Yeah.
happen if Braylon Moore went down, and then when he did go down, and we were all in and it was, I think it was one of the dumb games that he went down in, and then he came back, later in the year and just kept playing through it, kept playing through it. Same thing when Whit Weeks came back against Alabama. You now hear him at SEC Media Day say how he wasn't ready for it. I don't need Gabe to do that. I don't. You have enough players on the team that should be able to give you the snaps that you need. Freshman waiting, linebacker moved over, Jaden Breaker moved over. Like you should have enough bodies at edge that you shouldn't be like, dear God, we're just not a complete team without Gabe. But I said it before, I'll say it again, man. That dude set the edge like nobody else. And I know we kind of thought Pyburn was going to be that guy last year, and Pyburn did a good job in run defense. But as far as having a bag and being able to set the edge, which means pass rush, obviously pass rush moves, Gabe really was a really, really fun mix of size and speed, athleticism, a little older. He's been there now for it's his third year. So we hear you, coach. But if the brother's putting out stuff on Twitter, then like I don't. It's almost like he's saying, "Y'all see me here, right? Like don't let's maybe just in like the very back of our minds just remember that Gabe is still on the bike and on the team. How about that?
I would say even if he might just like out of sight, out of mind until maybe the playoffs, and if you're in contention, that's when you worry about it, right? I think it's kind of one of those deals. I don't think he's going to be available in the first half of the season,
Me either. Or at
but
all. I don't know. But
but
he keeps
with
posting stuff. So it's like
with
Jesus.
the rule change, there's no like, hey, I'm gonna sit out. I have a redshirt year. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
I can't play this many snaps. If he can play
Yeah.
the last two games of the season, it's all the same now. So it's like
5 to play
we'll
5.
see, and we can just go right into the depth chart, and we can start at his position.
Okay.
Um, and this was the pursuit drill day one. So this was the last Wednesday was the open. So a week ago exactly, I think is when camp opened, or was it
Uh
Thursday? It might have
it
been
would have
Thursday.
been
I don't,
it would have been a week ago.
so a week ago to the day, the media gets to see the first, I don't know, like 20 minutes of the practices, and Lane's very secretive as far as you know what he gives out there, and so
Mm-hmm.
what the media saw was a pursuit drill, and basically they would come out and the first team, the second team, third team, fourth team, and we could at least go off of who was on and with each group, and that's what we kind of want to go over today. So like we'll start
Mm-hmm.
with Relaford's group. I think the edges are clear as day. uh you know Prince and Jordan Ross are your two. I mean, I don't think there's any question about that, and I mean, you got Prince for a reason. You got Ross for a reason. Ross is playing his former team. Um, Both are playing their former teams in the first 3 weeks. So, like, what are your? I mean, there's not really a lot to talk about here. But just initial thoughts on what you think about those two players.
Did Jordan Ross not come from Tennessee?
Or was it Tennessee? Oh, it was Tennessee. I was thinking
Yeah.
Clemson. I was thinking Clemson. That's
Um,
the wrong orange school. Wrong
TJ,
orange
I mean
school.
TJ Dotter is going to play two of his former teams.
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
you got Prince, you got Jordan. Jordan's kind of those you're betting on what's to come. There's not really a lot of proven meat on the bone there, unfortunately, for Jordan Ross, but obviously a kid with all the talent in the world, looks the part. If
he
you
was a five
remember,
star,
yeah.
if I'm not mistaken, out
Do,
of high school. So
do you? And this is going to take a few of you back that remember the recruiting classes. Do you remember when you had going back to maybe like 2010 or 11 when we were still in high school? Um,
the good days.
the good days, right? Before I had to pay for this freaking place that I'm sitting in. Um, do you remember when we had it was an edge after edge after edge after edge, and it was like Kiki Mingo and so on, and it kind of started with a lot of those like defensive line guys, the Kikis, the Drake Nevis, and then you had like Christian Lockature. Christian Lockature was one of those ones that like he kept hanging around and they finally just kind of depended on him. That kind of what it was going to be like for someone like a Dylan Carpenter, the local kid out of Ascension Parish. Been around, looks the part. Dude is absolutely jacked and yoked beyond means. But do you remember when they went and got like, I guess I'm trying to think of, I want to say, God, where did he go to high school?
Touchdown.
Damn. No, not him. I'm trying to think of what year that would have been. But anyway, Caleb Chason. He came from Texas, and Caleb got here. And when Caleb got here, we go, okay, tall, lean. He's an edge guy. That's the one. That's kind of how they felt about Jordan Ross. Out of obviously, you're not recruiting him, you're getting him out of the transfer portal. That's kind of like the okay, he looks the part, he fits the part, he'll play the part. He's just got one of those like physical types. Prince Will's obviously got first round draft, top 10 in the draft potential if he continues to do what he's doing.
Nine
Dylan Carpenter is
sacks.
obviously going to be there. Jaden Breaker, obviously, I told you, is the converted linebacker. A lot of that, like that tall, that 6'3, 215, 225, probably a little too slower to be a linebacker. So you say, hey, man, do you want to go get after the quarterback? Yes, sir, coach. But do not forget about the fact that you do have Lamar Brown, who can put his hand in the dirt, but wants to play edge or is going to play edge rather.
Well, let's
You've
just get
got
into that.
numbers.
We're not gonna go like first 11, second 11 off the rip. I think the two in the second 11, the edges were Lamar Brown and Dylan Carpenter. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is a good sign for Lamar Brown fans because I mean Lamar Brown, if you remember, didn't get to participate in spring ball.
No, he didn't. He
So
didn't
the
get to
fact that
be
he's
there early.
already and look, this is this doesn't mean this is the starting lineup. Lamar Brown could be third string, fourth string, or he could be first. We don't know. This is just what they released day one. And this is subject to change. We're gonna see, and this could just be Lane playing games, testing combos, things of that nature. But yeah, Dylan Carpenter from Sandoval, I believe
Santa
has
Monica,
also and 6'3", 252.
big
Big,
dude,
big dude. And then,
big,
I mean,
lots of creatine.
but then you look up Lamar Brown, 6'4", 295.
Yeah, he's dude. There was I don't remember what game it was, Russo. There was a game last year where he was in one of those like windbreaker jackets on the back of a golf cart coming right down Skip Burtman Drive. And me and my better half were walking to a tailgate, and he had the dreads, and you knew who it was. He had the name tag on it, all that, and they were driving him around the campus to go to one of the like the alumni tailgates or whatever. That's a big dude. He's a big he's a big dude.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see him. I mean, whether it's not going to be every. it's probably not going to be every play, right? He's not going to be an every down guy just with those two
No,
guys, right?
no.
So, I mean, and look, that's subject to change. He can just come out there and whoa people, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, I think Lane did put a pause to like don't have these like crazy expectations for the true freshmen. Like they're good players. They're not going to be like every day like first. They're not going to be a first round pick in the next draft. Like you know what I'm saying? Like they can't be. But like even if they were, I think he was just trying to like
Anytime.
woe down expectations. The DTs for the first group of 11 was Deuce Geralds and Malik Blockton, who I believe came from Auburn,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Deuce Geralds, four-star true freshman, the number three defensive tackle nationally coming out of high school. So that's already crazy. And then right behind them, you've got Richie Anderson and I forgot the other guy. Green, I think is the other guy that came out.
Steph Green.
Yeah. Those are your four. So the first two, Gerald's Blockton, the second two, Anderson Green. Another just like Lamar Brown, it's a good sign to see Anderson with the twos right away. You know what I'm saying? Like that's and he looks good. He looks like he took the off season seriously. Um and I won't be shocked if you see him with the ones probably after week 5 or 6. I just wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if it's week 1. Honestly, I'm going to go that far and say that. That's just me. And like I said, once again, this isn't this is just what they released. However, I think it is pretty much the starting point of where we would all assume, right? I think Blockton has experience, played at Auburn. Then you got a true freshman in Anderson. Um, that checks out. Any thoughts how that layout happened?
I I came on the show yesterday and said body language. That was 2 practices in a row where people complained about body language from a couple of people on the defensive line, mainly from that interior. That changed yesterday about 40 minutes after I went live. So thank God. The word on the street was pissed off. That was the verbiage used by some of the people that cover the team. And listen, man, I'm not here to cast aspersions. I'm not here to tell you that like there's insider waves, insider takes, or whatever. Let the record show here on August the 12th, Wednesday, the year of our Lord 2026, Deuce Gerald is going to start a defensive tackle for this football team. Like there is all the things that you have seen in every day that you have had the opportunity to watch, barring something bad, God forbid that happens. Deuce Gerald has locked down a starting job. The kid's bag is endless. You've got Braylon Moore talking about him at the podium. It would not shock me if Richard Anderson gets that same opportunity. It sounds like Dominic McKinley's picking it up. It would not shock me to see both of the freshmen be there at defensive tackle. I think because they've been here, they've been putting the work in. Richard Anderson is a big, large human. It's just not going to be that shocking. And I do not think that it will take half the season to watch them start a
That's
game.
fair.
But I do think that they picked it up. I think the defensive line is going to be incredibly critical to what Blake Baker wants to do. Remember a year ago, we're watching the football game. The first sack of the season came from PJ Woodland. I don't think Blake Baker wants the first sack of the year to be PJ Woodland. Like I think you would
Yeah,
prefer one of these big
the
fatties
big boys.
getting
Yeah.
yeah. Give me some
And that
300
and that
pound men
can
getting sacks.
that can help him scheme differently because he did blitz a lot, but I mean that changes when you can get pressure from your four up front.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it for your front four. Just to recap, first 11 left to right: Prince, Gerald's, Blockton, Ross, and then second 11: Brown, Green, Anderson, Carpenter. So let's get to the linebackers, which again, no surprise as far as the two linebackers that are starting, Whit Weeks and TJ Doddery. No shock there. And the star position would be Spears.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are your thoughts on those three? Any
Love it.
shocks there?
Love it. I think Witt and TJ are disgusting. I think when you have someone like Devon Keys and Tylen Singleton and you're too deep, I just or and they say they've said for forever that Zach Weeks. They said Zach Weeks was the most prepared one out of all of them, as far as like at that point. And
He was a year early, right? He
right.
reclassified. Yeah, so like
So
he's gonna be in the threes for sure, I
I
think.
think he's going to be there. I don't have any questions about your linebackers, dude. This could be like the sun coming up. LSU's got linebackers.
And
Like
you
I
hit
just
the nail on the head. Keys and Singleton ran with the twos, and
that's
Jim
impressive.
Coyley was the
CJ
star
too.
for the two. So follow him on TikTok. He's cool. He has
He's
a
funny as hell. He
he's
hates the
funny.
train.
He
he,
hates the
he
train on
hates the train.
Nicholson, and I can't agree more with him because as someone that lives off of Nicholson, not fun. Um, so yeah, I mean, follow him on TikTok. He's a great watch. He gives you an inside view of what the players are currently going
Kid's
through.
funny
So
as hell.
that's your that's your front seven on your first 11 and second 11. Let's get to the corners. Again, no surprise here on the first 11. Pickett and Woodland. No shock there.
Bruh. Bruh. I love PJ Woodland, bro. That hey, there was something that I remember telling some of my friends in when we got to college and like whatever sport like I played in, I was trying to be first team all district and talking that noise. Like it I hey, PJ is going to get some penalties called on him. He's gonna get in there. He's probably calling someone's family member some bad words. He's definitely gonna get there early and get a couple of PIs. But bruh, that's a pit bull now. PJ's gonna get in there and he's not afraid. There was a couple of people that again they have proclivities to the information. They're at practice seeing it. They said there's a couple of folks that are hitting people and ready to hit. Obviously, one of them is going to be Ty Benefield because, dear Christ, the second is brother PJ Woodland, and I mean P PJ's gonna come down and knock somebody now.
He's got a
Like
little.
he's
He's
not
got.
afraid,
I see
bro.
so much of Delpit in him. Like
Uh huh. Uh
that's like
huh.
the comp I have, and obviously
Uh-huh.
Delpit was
And
a
he's
great
not
player.
he's not that big. That's
I
I gave
know.
him the Christian Fulton comp last night, in
Yeah.
which he was easily one of the best corners that nobody was talking about,
Yeah.
and is still making a career in the NFL to this day. PJ's just got that kind of body. Like, do you what was God, Kev, if you're listening, can you get it in here? What was Russo? He was the corner, he was one of our cornerbacks for I remember the like the it was the COVID year and the year after COVID. Skinny fella, about 175, 180. And he was always it was whenever we went and got that little 3-4 defense running for us. God, what was his name?
Don't know.
I bet I can remember. He reminds me a lot of that. Um Cordell Flott, baby.
I had flat on my tongue. I didn't want to say
Cordell
it.
Flott.
Yeah. I had flat on my
Cordell.
tongue. Had it
Cordell
on my
Flott
tongue.
was one of those ones where when you look back at it and you go, damn, if that's your third corner, if that's your second corner, golly. And there was a couple of them that were rough riders like that, bro. Cordell was coming down and hitting you, and he might have only weighed about 111 pounds, but he was coming down and hitting
No.
you in his youth medium pants. He was coming. But PJ will come down there and hit you, bro. I like PJ a lot.
I
Shout
like
out PJ.
our ones and twos, and I I guess this is where we don't have a lot of you know 3 and 4 is open. The 3 and 4 is open. Um, Jakeem Jackson
Mm-hmm.
and Michael Turner Jr. were
Mm-hmm.
the twos there,
Mm-hmm.
but I think this can be open. Like Jakeem was a 4-star out of high school. Went to Florida for 2 years, I believe. Transferred here last year. Dealt with some injuries, and I think he has the kind of like Eugene Wilson from Florida. Like if he stays healthy, I think he's definitely the front runner to probably be the third, but like I think it's wide open. Like what are your thoughts on the cornerbacks and any surprises that you can see forthcoming there?
I honestly love, and when I say love, I mean like I love the cornerback room to start. I think Michael Turner's obviously the local kid, super fast, skinny, tall. I just think that if there's ever going to be a time in which we acknowledge that younger kids are ready to play, I think you're going to see that from Haven Finney, a young
Good energy,
dude
man.
ready to rock and roll. I just have a hard time saying that there is a definitive third. I know that's what they say, you know, Jakeem, Mike, Haven. Literally, we just need somebody to stand up and be in that three deep and be ready if something happens. And who's going to be your fourth? So it's going to be fun. I like the corners. I think Corey's going to have them ready to go, whoever it is. And so
Yeah.
hey, and if something stupid happens, let Fahim Delane go back to free. If something happens and you need, if something happens, let's just say something happens, a
Runs in the
star.
blood. Runs in the
Yeah,
blood, man.
let Fahim go back to strong or free, and then move your freaking Ty Benefield down there into the star and just wreak
Yeah.
havoc. Like it's ridiculous.
You got options. And speaking of Ty Benefield, he's the clear cut guy there.
I agree with Brian, dude. The athleticism on this LSU defense is what I've been hearing
Yeah,
has been standing out, and
100%.
and it's not that hard to like see whenever you see the tape and everyone looks the part.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I'm saying?
100%.
Whereas when you watch Colorado film, no shade to Colorado and Coach Prime, they look like they aren't the part.
Look like
Like,
some peewees out there, dude. No offense. No offense. I'm not a college football player, never have been. Don't. I'm just a fat podcaster, you know. However, Jace Thomas was redshirt freshman was the shock that ran with the ones, and I think this position's wide open.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, 4-star from Destrehan. This is wide open, and this is
I
where
agree.
you can see Mansour's brother come in and wreak havoc there too. So he because Delane ran with the twos as well as Cooley. So like those were your twos in the safety position. I easily see that just like cornerback uh CB 3 and 4. I can see a rotation there with how they handle that. And like you said, we can even get creative and start moving some fellas around and to stars to you know what I'm saying? Like that's just how good our that's just how athletic they look. So as far as that's concerned, so yeah,
That's a good comment. And we made this before for those of you that are, you know, listening and not able to watch. Brian said that it's an athletic defense, is a playmaking defense. The biggest issue under Kelly, lack of athleticism, size, and playmaking. It's what hurt us versus Florida State in 23 and the last two times against A&M.
dude.
I actually don't think that the athleticism was the problem, Brian. And thank you for commenting on the show. Shout out to B Turner. But I think the athleticism was there, brother. I just don't think that the give a damn was there. They didn't have this kind of motivation. I don't think they were athletically trained properly. I don't think
The physicality wasn't there in that Florida State game because I
no,
remember
no,
them
no.
running us
It wasn't
over
because they weren't
in that
athletic. It was
game.
just because they didn't want it.
I don't. I'm not even gonna speak to athleticism. They got ran. I looked at myself. I'm like, oh
Dude, A and
shit,
M is also, and speaking of Florida State, A&M has now busted your ass in the second half of the last two. You could say three out of the last four, but
man.
two out of the last 2 years, you have gotten your behind whipped in the second half of the A&M game.
I hate that we've got that game back to back with Ole Miss. I wish because that's a big game in my opinion. Like obviously there's plenty of game. We'll briefly go over the schedule here in a couple of minutes before we close the
Sure,
show out. But
sure.
I mean, it just sucks because like the Ole Miss game is gonna be so hype, but then like there's just no
And
stop. Just
and
immediately
no,
after week
no.
4, Tiger Stadium, Texas
I
A&M.
You're recruiting better. You don't have a high school head coach as your cornerback coach anymore. You have Corey Raymond, who, for all intents and purposes, is the godfather of DBU back and getting the fellas in there. And again, I understand uh, you need more than cornerbacks and athleticism. You need a little bit of physicality, maybe a little bit of luck here and there to get a call to go your way. But when you're getting blown over the top by 10 yards from receivers that run in the ACC versus the SEC, which no shade to, ACC receivers. I mean, we can rattle off some Clemson receivers that are nasty, but dog, you've got to put hands on folks. So I don't want to see that happen to my Tigers ever again. And not
Okay.
under Kiffin. It ain't gonna happen under Kiffin. I'm
I
sorry.
hope not. Let's transition to the schedule. We've got a few minutes left before we'll get off here.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, we're gonna go over the schedule a bunch probably towards the end, and opinions change, right? Like I'm not gonna give any specific leans in this video. I kind of just wanted to note where Vegas predicted these lines were the lines for these games. Not every single line is out, but we'll go through some of these and we'll just hear our opinions. And I kind of just want to pose the question on, obviously in the first game, hosting Clemson in Tiger Stadium, the real Death Valley, 9.5 point favorites, 50.5 total. Um, big, big line for week one. Because, I mean, if you remember Florida State, any week one game over the last, I don't know, 7 years, it's probably the closest line. If I had to, maybe with the exception of like the first, honestly, this might be the closest line. But also, are not the closest, the the most distant line as far as a favorite is concerned, because a lot of these games were neutral site, and then last year obviously was in Clemson. So 9.5 point favorites. So Vegas thinks you got a two possession advantage as far as that's concerned, and they think you start off 1-0. Technically, it's not. They don't think you win the game. They're just predicting that that's what it's going to be, and then they don't have a line for LA Tech. So according to Vegas, you probably start the season 2-0. And then you get to that 3-4, like we just talked about. 1.5 point dogs on the road against Ole Miss. High total of 57.5. And then you're turning around 3 point favorites against A&M at home. If I had to pose, just which game do you want more between those two, Ole Miss and A&M? Which one is it? If you
Ole
had to just
Miss.
pick one, really? Okay, so
So so
the
so the
beef with Ole
answer
Miss
the
outweighs
so
the
the clear answer, the correct answer is A&M, because you
correct.
will not, as much as they wish that they could, you are not competing with Ole Miss with recruiting like you are with A&M. The answer is A&M. Personally, personally, I think it will be more gratifying to beat
You
Ole
gotta back your
Miss
coach. You gotta back your coach.
just because I just think I just think that there needs to be an order that needs to be reevaluated. You know what I mean? And as much as now, if you made me pick and you really gave me truth serum and you made me like pick, I honestly actually do think that I would probably lean to go A&M, because it will not look as bad to the playoff committee if you lose a game on the road versus losing one at home. So the answer is A&M, but personally, there's a part of me that I would very much like
It's
to
Ole
stick it.
Miss. Ole Miss it's got to be the answer for 90% of people, man. Just like because A&M, you've had this dialogue with them for years now, right? So like obviously recently it sucked, and you can point to the games and the history books,
Yeah.
the 7 overtime game. Like there's been dialogue there for a while, and there's been dialogue with Ole Miss too, but this one's personal. Like this one's directly involved
Yeah.
with where we got their coach, just the whole debacle from how it was handled last year. So I would pick Ole Miss. I think that's the correct answer. And look, that's two games that they have us favored, one where they're not. So we'll move on. You get Big Niece after that. You finally get a little bit of a break, and then you go right back into the SEC at Kentucky, and then hosting Mississippi State. Two tricky games. I'm not gonna and there's no lines. No lines for those games. Those are going to be two tricky games. I know a lot of people think it's Kentucky, it's Mississippi State, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, in the SEC, if you have a bad day, you can get beat. And Lane Kiffin probably would be the first one to say that just based on his games at Ole Miss. I remember specifically watching a game against Kentucky, I think either last year or the year before, where they struggled. Like it took them everything and then they won on the last possession. So you know what I'm saying? Like those are tricky games. You should, with this roster, you should win both of those games. So am I overthinking this, or
No,
is
no.
this okay? Glad we're on the same page. So let's just say that's what our one, two, three, four, five first 7 games. We are realistically hoping 6-1, right? Like you gotta split. You gotta beat Clemson, right? You gotta win that game. In Tiger Stadium, Lane's first game. You gotta win that game. So to me, and like I said, this is just us BSing right now. This isn't like no official prediction or anything. You got to start 2-0, and then you got to split Ole Miss A&M. You got to go 3-1, and you got to start 6-1.
Yeah, I agree with that.
7-0 is possible. 7-0 is definitely possible. Um, but don't sleep on those 2 games,
Yeah.
especially with we don't have any times on those games yet. I think the Kentucky game's a night game, and then the Mississippi State at LSU is an early game. Interesting there. So
State will be early.
confirmed, yeah.
We
Um,
we are we are possibly gonna be at that game together
yeah,
if the schedule breaks out. I know there's some conflicting things that may need my attention later on during the day, but I am not missing a home LSU SEC football game. So Russo and I may fire up a live at 7:30 from Waffle House or something, getting
we
getting
might
lit.
might have a live, or not a live, just a vlog of thoughts. Maybe a fun little thing.
Yeah,
We'll definitely
go live from the
see.
stadium.
Yeah, we'll definitely see what's up with that day. So
Go
we're
for it.
thinking 6-1. Hopefully, realistically. Then you go to Jordan-Hare, and that's another tough game at 11 a.m. though.
Wasp nest.
At least it's 11 a.m.
Yeah.
That's a positive. That's a tough game too, man. That's
Hmm.
probably the toughest of those 3 we just talked about as far as Kentucky and Mississippi State are concerned. It's a tricky place to play. However, if everything turns out right, and I was a big fan of Brown, the quarterback from South Florida that transferred over to Auburn.
Byron Brown.
He's a run first guy. Now, I could eat poo poo and be wrong, and he could throw for 350 on us, and we lose this game. And God, will I be regretting saying this? I just think if you make him throw the ball, you should win this game. However, things change. He could just absolutely dominate that game. However, I'm thinking 7-1. I'm thinking you win that game. That's an optimist in me. I'm thinking you're going 7-1 to the bye week. Then you host Bama, in which you are 3.5 point favorites, and then back to back hosting Texas. Once again, gotta split one. You gotta split those 2 games. You gotta win one, and your dogs at home against Texas. And I think that is the game that has the most variance to move from today to whenever the game is, which it looks like it's November 14th. I'm telling you, that line is going to be different. It's going to be different.
I agree.
I'm just saying, because there's just so much that's going to happen between now and then. And by then, I think you kind of know who you are. and
Mhm.
Vegas is probably smarter than anyone. They're kind of just, I mean, this is how good they are. I mean, they're giving you lines. This is the time to catch them, right? Like if you're gonna catch Vegas from a betting perspective, it's now. While it's kind of you're kind of blind because like Vegas catches up quickly. So I think that line could be a 3 to 4 point swing in either direction, depending on how the season goes. So you got to split those, and you got to go 8-2, and then you just simply have to beat Tennessee on the road. You just gotta.
Gotta beat Tennessee on the road if you wanna end up having
And
a
you
chance to play for
and
something.
Vegas has you as 1.5 point favorites. So
That's it?
yeah, on the
Okay.
road, and then you close against Arkansas on the road too. So man, very
Avoid the
tough
wasp
schedule.
nest, manage the tough ones.
The key games, in my opinion, and look, you're gonna like be like, why, Russo? Why are you saying these are the two key games? We have so many of them. It's at Auburn and it's at Tennessee. You just gotta win those games. Those are the two circled on my calendar that you have to win. If you want to make the playoffs, you have to win those two games. There's no questions asked. I don't see a world where if you split one of those games, you make the playoffs. I just
Can
don't.
we can we get drunk for the Auburn game?
I don't see why not. Oh, crazy enough, and this could be news, and Katie might kill me. I think we're actually throwing our shower that night, so we can
You're doing what?
our wedding shower. I think is that night, that day. It's not during. It's an 11 o'clock game, and I think we were gonna have a get together like at like 4. So like we could theoretically it would be the perfect time to do it
If you would have scheduled that.
during the game. Wait, is that when you're wedding it? That's when your shower is? Oh,
No.
okay, man.
No,
That's been the
I'm still disappointed that y'all are even trying to do it on a Saturday, much less but no, I mean it'll be after the game, but no.
I have Katie blowing up my phone. I don't think she can hear me or not. Anyways, we'll confirm all that off camera.
But no.
But yes, we will definitely try and get drink for one of those games for sure. But that's I think those are the two games you got to win. They're circled on my calendar. 10-2 is a very realistic chance here. Um, and I'm not gonna poop on anyone that thinks you can go 8-4 because that schedule's tough, man. That's a tough schedule, and I'm not gonna be a homer here and just be blind. 8-4 is very realistic, folks. I mean, like it just is.
Mhm.
I don't see us going 7-5 again. Like
No.
I think the floor is 8-4, but that reaching that floor is possible. Like I'm just gonna be very transparent because that is a tough ass schedule, and and you have the benefit of the doubt of 3 of those games are at home, like those really tough games, Texas, Bama, and A&M. So like, sure, you got the benefit of those,
You're not going 7 and 5.
but those tricky games against Auburn and Tennessee are the ones I care a lot more about because they're on the road and they're tricky, man.
Right.
They're just it's tricky spots
No.
in the
Nope.
season. So yeah, and there's just a lot of unknown with those two teams. I mean, I personally think you beat Bama, and then I don't know how Texas looks. I think it depends how Arch looks, right? I mean, I think Arch looked very mediocre for the first half of the season last year. Turned it up towards the end, but how is his year two? If he ends up being a Heisman front runner through the first half of the season, oh man, that's gonna be a tough game. So
We'll see.
that's just what we think of from a 1,000 foot view, and how the betting. And sorry if you hear my cat scratching at the door. He's trying to get into the show. He's one of our biggest fans. Um, but we're gonna put a bow on this show, man. 55 minutes. It goes by so quick, man.
I know.
It's just I love talking football. I mean, I could do this forever, man. I'm so excited. We're just getting that much closer to the season, and we've gone over the offense, we've gone over the defense, and we've gone over week 1 of fall camp. So we're gonna wrap it up there. Next, and I do want to say, I believe we are going to start moving this show to Wednesdays now. I did totally forget I signed up for a bowling league on Thursdays, and that has been the traditional day we run this show. Um, so I think we're gonna start this show on Wednesdays now. This is gonna probably be the slot for that. Catching up with Coach will vary between Mondays and Tuesdays, and my show, Death Valley Bets, is going to be kind of more of a social media uh thing. I'll definitely post a pre-recorded video every week about the prize picks play of the week, the ladder plays, and just we'll keep up with our record on that channel. So like that will be the third show in our
Let's pay for
rotation.
a wedding, dude.
Yeah, dude, let's get 10 to 10K on that ladder challenge. I'm taking it so freaking seriously this year, man. I'm so hyped. I've always wanted to just jump the ladder and get to the top really quickly. Like I wanted to just get like multiple
Small
mul-
wins.
small, you start small, you start with $10 and you get guarantees. You don't rush, you go week by week. And we're going to get there, man. 10 to 10K. So, that's it for us. We're gonna wrap it up. Just under an hour, get you out of there. I don't think they practiced today. I think today was an off day,
If
I
they if
believe.
they if they did, I
They scrimmage Saturday or
mhm.
Sunday, I believe. So that will be fun. Um, we'll definitely have some notes for that. And otherwise, we'll catch y'all next Wednesday.